I went over to my family's house for dinner a couple nights ago, and my father was raving and couldn't stop talking about a case I'd never heard of that apparently has just wrapped up. The Alex Murdaugh murder case. And in fact, it extends beyond that. The entire Murdaugh family murders. This is a very high profile case that I just hadn't heard of until my father started lecturing me on it like I had just taken a criminology course. He apparently followed every single piece of evidence that dropped. He watched every trial, everything. My dad studied the tits off of this case like he was going there to prosecute Alex Murdaugh himself. And it piqued my interest. It made me want to learn more about it. So I went to the best goddamn channel on YouTube for things like this, Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle recently made a full, beautiful breakdown going over every single piece of evidence and every single key point in the entire Murdaugh history. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description, but I just kind of wanted to share it with all of you because this is one of the more deep and disturbing cases I've learned about in quite a while. So I just wanted to share kind of the gist of it with all of you, but I highly recommend watching Legal Eagle's video on it if you want to learn the most about it and see how everything unfolded. You see the Murdaugh murders. So my dad just told me about that. I didn't know anything about it. And he was apparently embezzling money for a long time, a pathological liar, an oxy addict, and he snapped and killed his son and wife. My dad was telling me all about it, apparently. Or, not apparently, my dad was telling me all about it. Apparently, it was a wild case, and I didn't hear shit about it. Yeah, apparently the prosecutors had a video that the son had recorded that proved that Alex Murdaugh was lying about his whereabouts on the night of the murders. So I guess the story was they were killed at like the dog kennels on their property. Alex Murdaugh claimed that he wasn't there that night at the kennels, and he had like a couple alibis because they had his whole phone record. Apparently he called a ton of people to try and get a couple alibis. And eventually the prosecutors showed a video that his son had recorded literally minutes before he was murdered. His son he killed also got in a boat accident that killed a girl named Mallory Beach, and also was the only witness to his housekeeper dying, and he embezzled her life insurance. Oh, what the fuck?
Close. Los Angeles area double murder expert O.J. Simpson predicted that the Alec Murdaugh jury would acquit the Low Country lawyer of double murder. It turns out that Simpson's powers of prognostication don't really work for murders he wasn't directly involved in.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least if this guy beats this case.
So before I explain...
It's crazy. It is crazy. We have O.J. Simpson on Twitter dropping reaction videos, giving his opinion on how another murderer could potentially beat their case. That blows my mind.
Randolph Murdaugh Sr. was elected solicitor in 1920 and served until he was killed by a freight train in 1940.
Sounds like a murder. That sounds like an actual old western murder where they tied him to the train tracks. Don't know the situation, it literally just sounds like he was murdered.
Now, some people suspected that the freight train incident was a suicide because no one could figure out why Randolph's car stalled on the tracks. But Murdaugh Sr. was succeeded by his son, Randolph Murdaugh Jr., known as Buster, who held the position for 46 years
cool
from
nickname.
1942. On two separate occasions, 20 years apart, he told jurors that if they didn't impose the death penalty on a criminal defendant, he would use his power as solicitor to release other rapists into the community. Yes, you heard that right.
What?
It's hard to imagine a worse thing a prosecutor could say in court, but I'm sure prosecutors have.
And he got to keep the position? He would make these threats like, okay, if he doesn't get the death penalty, 5 rapists will go into Gotham. He sounds like the Joker. What? Elected official, so he just campaigns and pays off the right people? Yeah, but I'm sure there's still systems in place where if you're threatening to release rapists out of like a grudge, you can get fired. Like you can get like taken out. Like you lose your position, I would think. Because it was the 70s. It's not like rape was cool in the 70s either. I'm sure people weren't like like rallying behind him like, yeah, that's fucking Buster right there. That's how Buster plays. Give the death penalty. Or 50 rapists. Buster, release 50 rapists into the neighborhood. The guy really had rapists in the queue to join the server. Oh, you're talking about Buster still, yeah. I'm just going to take a guess that the other Murdochs didn't use the same tactic.
Alex Murdaugh, the now convicted murderer, is Randolph III's son.
All of this information is to show you that the entire Murdaugh line is fucking evil, basically. Now that you're brought up to speed on where Alex Murdaugh comes from, let's talk about his kids, because his kids are no saints. Legal Eagle goes into more detail surrounding some of these cases, but I'd just like to give you a quick breakdown. If you want more information, obviously watch his video on it. But one of Alex's sons, Buster, who is named after, of course, Buster Murdaugh, who came before him, is actually a person of interest in a 2015 death. A young man named Stephen Smith was found dumped on a Hampton County road. There wasn't a whole lot of indicators to suggest that this was a vehicle crash, and in fact was even ruled a homicide by a couple of people, most notably the county coroner. And interestingly, Buster Murdaugh is mentioned dozens of times in the investigation. Also, Alex Murdaugh and his brother Randy visited the crime scene, passing through the crime scene tape. And there were rumors that Buster Murdaugh and Stephen Smith were in some kind of relationship, and this case actually just got reopened after the entire Alex Murdaugh investigation. So that's all a bit peculiar. That doesn't seem good. Something smells very fishy over there with Buster Murdaugh, and he's not the only one. In fact, Alex Murdaugh's other son, Paul. In 2019, Paul and his friends were partying on a boat. At one point, his friends say Paul and his girlfriend got in an argument where Paul assaulted her, and then eventually the night culminated with the boat crashing, everyone surviving except one person, Mallory Beach. Paul was blamed for the death because he was fucking driving the boat. He received 2 charges, 1, boating under the influence causing great bodily harm, and 1, boating under the influence causing death. So as you can see, the Murdaugh family is known for more than just financial crimes. There's a lot of death linked to the family as well. And there's still more. There's still one that I haven't even talked about, one that happened before Alex Murdaugh killed his son and wife. In 2018, their housekeeper Gloria Satterfield allegedly tripped over one of their dogs and fell down the stairs and died at their hunting lodge. Alex Murdaugh then instructed Gloria Satterfield's sons to sue him for insurance money. However, he neglected to inform them that he had already collected on 2 settlements and basically robbed them of about $4.3 million from the insurance here. The man is just pure evil, just a shriveled, pruny, fucking ghost-looking motherfucker whose entire bloodline seems cursed and is nothing but bad news. It is disgusting.
His lawyer said he planned to sue Alex and Maggie personally because they allegedly kept a beer refrigerator at the hunting lodge and underage kids were free to drink up. Given the scale of Alex's financial crimes, discovery of his assets would have revealed years of Murdaugh's criminality. Later that same night, Alex allegedly found Paul and Maggie dead outside the kennels at the Murdaugh's sprawling hunting estate.
I'm really trying to break this down into the most concise form possible just to convey like the general story of the situation, but again, I can't recommend checking out Legal Eagle's full video on it for the absolute best breakdown. In a nutshell, years and years and millions upon millions of dollars of stolen money and financial crimes were about to be brought to light, all of which Alex Murdaugh was panicked about. So the main theory behind his motive for killing Paul and his wife Maggie is he needed some way of buying time to weasel his way out of this situation. I shit you not. The murder of his son Paul and wife Maggie, right now the leading theory is he did it for sympathy, to portray himself as a victim, and to basically just buy himself some extra time to get out of the situation because all of these financial crimes that have built up over years were about to be fucking blasted publicly. All of it was going to come to light. So that was his plan. Now, Paul was murdered before he ever stood trial for the death of Mallory Beach. But I'm getting a little ahead of the story because there was one other baffling situation that occurred involving a hired hitman that Alex himself hired to shoot and kill him so his other son could get his insurance money.
So Alex admitted to stealing from Chris and blamed his behavior on an opioid addiction. And then hours later, that same day after that conversation with Chris, Alex was shot in the head. Yes. Seriously. Is this like a far-fetched Netflix series yet?
So, now we're at the part that I know. Everything that preceded this, fucking wild. No clue. But now we're getting into the part that my dad was talking about, and now I'm kind of in the know on where all this goes. Chat just educated me about this, so I have the spoilers here. But I guess I won't drop the spoilers. But I see now what has happened and how things have got to this point.
Yes, but I mean, I'm okay.
Alex later admitted that he hired his cousin Eddie to shoot him. So Alex's remaining son Buster could
get the life
on a
insurance.
$10 million life insurance policy. But apparently cousin Eddie wasn't up to the job because the gunshot
Good picture,
wound was
National
just a glaze
Lampoon.
that temporarily blinded Alex. Eddie would also turn out to be Alex's oxycodone dealer. Alex later admitted that he stole from his law partners and clients to fund his addiction to painkillers. According to
Hold on, then my dad's calling me about the Murdoch shit that I just sent him with this. Hold on. Yeah, well, did you even know about all of the Murdoch shit with his family? Like how his son is most likely responsible for deaths as well?
Yes.
You
And his son, like, was in the boat accident.
yeah, the boat.
Yeah, the whole deal. I mean, yeah, I know all the background of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then how he tried to set up, like, his own...
Yeah, I just got to that point. Cousin Eddie to, like, a hitman to shoot him for the life insurance policy for Buster.
Yeah, and then they fucked that whole thing up.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew any of that because you didn't mention it. That shit's crazy.
Well, see, that's why I haven't been playing any games. I got so into this shit. I'm like, I can't stop. It's like, see, that's why I said this is 10 times better than the goddamn O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely wild. I had no idea it was like so deep reaching.
I know. See, that's what I'm telling you. So you think it's pretty cool, right?
Well, cool is like probably a weird word to use for it, but like it's fascinating. Like it feels like it's some kind of crazy movie. Yeah, he's really into the whole Murdoch shit. He got like encyclopedic knowledge on this whole thing apparently. He didn't even mention the family stuff, so I thought that'd be news to him. Yeah, no, this whole family's rotten. Although I haven't heard anything about the mother, so maybe she didn't do anything terrible. I have no idea.
for violent schemes.
Real quick though, was his plan actually to die? Like, did Alex Murdaugh hire cousin Eddie, goofball McGee, red-blooded patriot, fucking wild maniac to come shoot him and kill him? That's wild. So his plan was actually to die. He said, come shoot me in the head. And then he survived. He's like, damn it. Time to change plan. Wow. Hey, a lot of things can be said about Alex Murdaugh, but God damn it, he gave it 110%. This man was ready to literally kill himself so that way his son could still have some fucking cheated funds. $10 million life insurance policy.
The drug dealer. The trial's biggest bombshell was an unsent Snapchat
Yes,
video
this is the one that my
recovered
dad
from
was
Paul
talking
Stone.
about.
Alex told police he had last seen his son and wife 90 minutes before he found their bodies. Several witnesses testified that they could hear Alex's voice in the background of the video.
Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth.
Did the Snapchat video influence Alex's decision to testify on his own behalf? Almost certainly yes. The very first
Well,
thing
yeah, and I think that is very clearly his voice in the Snapchat video. Very clearly.
Alex did on the witness stand was fess up that he lied about being at the kennels. Alex admitted it was his voice on the video.
Were you in fact at the kennels at 8:44 p.m. on the night Maggie and Paul were murdered?
I was.
Did you?
So then he absolutely just admits to a lie right there. I do want to point out, This man's got some wild hair coloration here. This looks like a weird slider in a Dark Souls creator. He looks like a French fry with like some cheese sauce on the top. That shit is going hard.
You lied to Sled Agent Owen and Deputy Laura Rutland on the night of June 7th.
I did lie to them, and I'm so sorry that I did.
Other than lying to them about going to the kennel, I was very
Holy
cooperative
shit.
in every aspect of this investigation. When Alex's brother Randy overheard Alex trying to bribe a nurse to let him use her phone, he thought it was suspicious. And brother Randy called the police, and the story began to unravel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sled sketch artist and spent
Man, this guy just straight up looks evil. He looks actually soulless. Those are some hollow, empty devil eyes right there. 100%. Sometimes people just look the part.
But in an earlier interview with investigators, Alex had actually implicated his groundskeeper. He also told the jury that someone angry about the death of Mallory Beach committed the murders. These inconsistencies undermined Alex's credibility. Then there's the mess with Alex's financial crimes. The prosecution argued that Alex's financial crimes couldn't be separated from the murders because exposure of his vast financial crimes was one of the motives
speaks to his
for killing
characters.
Maggie and Paul.
Well, not only that, I imagine that also helps to demonstrate, like, make a character profile, right? I don't know if that is actually something that's usable in court, but doesn't that also serve to poke holes in the credibility since all of these financial crimes hinged on a bunch of lies and embezzlement and all of that? Or is that not allowed?
Every single one of these, you had to sit down and look someone in the eye and convince them that you were on their side when you were not.
Wow, that's hardball.
Do you remember it, even one of them?
If you ask me questions, but I can't remember sitting down with Dion.
Alex's response? What I admit is I misled them. I did wrong, and that I stole their money. What Prosecutor Waters was getting at was this. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Alex Murdaugh is sitting there and looking at you and convince you of something, but you shouldn't believe him. Just look at how he lied in the past.
That's
Moreover,
strong
Alex
as fuck.
testified that all of his financial bad deeds were caused by his drug habit, which was costing him as much as $60,000 a week. As for the weapons, prosecutors said casings for bullets from a .300 Blackout rifle were found near Maggie's body. And the Murdaughs owned a rifle chambered in .300 Blackout, and the weapon is now missing. Alex also couldn't account for the clothing he was wearing on the day of the murders. His clothes had never been found. His mother's caregiver testified that after the murders, Alex tried to remind her about what he was wearing.
I guess it's easy in hindsight, but I feel like even if I was in the court as this was unfolding, the second it came to that point, both of those in conjunction, I'd be like, well, he fucking did it. What kind of coincidence is that? Oh, so they were killed with .300 Blackout rounds. Oh, you have a weapon with .300 Blackout. That's a weird coincidence. Can you bring it in so we can just make sure like everything's, all good? Oh, it's missing. Well, what happened to it? Oh, you don't know. Oh. Okay, well, what about your clothes? Can we like the clothes you were wearing on that night, maybe they picked up some forensic evidence from the real killers. Oh, you lost your clothes. Are you telling me a burglar came in the middle of the night while you were sleeping and took the fucking clothes off your back? Even your dirty goddamn undies, he took them? Oh. Like, what the fuck? This is outrageous.
The speed of the jury's verdict, just 3 hours of deliberation after a trial lasting a month and a half.
That's a gold split.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah.
The day after the verdict was read, Alex Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for murdering his wife and son.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. So, a big drama story developing in the Blade and Soul community. So, all 8 people that still play Blade and Soul were just outraged. One of their biggest streamers, Good Games Greg, turns out was threatening his fans with suicide if they didn't send him nudes. And some of the chat logs were leaked by the girls. And today at Splash TV, we decided to investigate it and dive a little further and even reenact one of the plays that he made. Obviously, it wasn't meant as a play, but that's how it kind of comes across because it's so fucking silly. And yeah, that's about it. Obviously, Good Games Greg didn't actually kill himself or anything. He was just trying to manipulate the girls into sending him nudes, so he's kind of a piece of shit. The only really good one, well, actually the last 4 are pretty good, but the one that is green, it's Victim 2, Evidence 1.
Okay, way to make it like a fucking court case. Victim 2, Evidence 1, is that what you said?
Yes, if the jury could please go to their handbooks here and flip to that page as well. We'll all read along together.
Is this the same guy as this Greg?
Yeah, this is Good Games Greg, or as I like to call him, Good Nudes Greg. Isn't that a nice wisecrack, Kaya? You haven't heard that one before.
Huh.
So basically a general overview, Kaya. I think it's apt that we do that, since Splash TV investigative journalists were the first ones to break this story a couple days after it happened. So what we found was that this streamer for Penguinz0, which is, it's a video game, Kaya.
No, you suck. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried. Go, take it away, Kaya.
Do you even have ominous music?
No.
Well,
I mean, I can play the trumpet.
What was that thing? Oh yeah, Splash TV. So Splash TV, Dateline, NBC. No way, should we get sued for that?
Thank you for tuning in. This is To Catch a Nude Predator.
Yeah, this is To Catch a Lawsuit. Online chat forums. They used to be plentiful, but now there aren't many except for Discord. But are your children safe? They might be watching streamers like Good Gamer Greg. I forgot his name. Either way, tonight in a special investigation, date night, FBC, Charles Hansen is in charge of this investigation. Take it away, Charles.
So, we cracked a big story today, Kaya the Swift. What we found was that a popular Penguinz0 streamer was actually threatening suicide to his underage, well, not all underage fans, I don't mean to misrepresent the good fellow, but threatening suicide to his female fans if they didn't send him nudes. Can you believe this? Can you believe the audacity of this man, Kaya?
Yes.
Alright.
I can believe anything evil that comes out of YouTube, but can you at home believe it, dear watchers over the age of 50 who may have children or nephews or grandkids in high school? You will not believe the evil crawling on this website called YouTube. Not only is it corrupting your kids, it might soon take away your TV. No more Fox, no more NBC, no more CNN.
And then once it takes away your TV, it's coming for your guns too. That's right, folks. But today we're gonna focus on the big story. Good Games Greg, also known as Good Nudes Greg, as I call him. That's a pretty good wisecrack. Is
To show you
actually
these heinous crimes, we will now reenact the horrible act of him soliciting nudes from an probably suspected underage individual who is very uncomfortable with them, but appears to be a weeb, just like him, so she cannot just block him, she has to drag it on and on and on. And scene. Who do you want to play?
I think you do Greg justice. You would definitely do Greg justice when he's like fading away.
Alright.
So I'll play the
I don't know
girls.
if that's
You
a
can play Greg.
compliment, but alright.
It was 1:36 a.m. Greg received a message. Yes, I know.
Idaho, Texas, 22 p.m. That was so wrong. Literally everything about that was fucking terribly wrong. The 24-hour format plus the PM. Anyway, leave it in. Whatever.
It's fine. Yeah. We'll roll.
Alright,
So,
yeah,
all right.
from the top, sorry.
Okay. Yes, I know.
Sigh, sent me some pictures of you, okay? Hello?
You had me terrified.
Well, not normal pics.
Nani? You like that going off book there a little bit?
It was a curveball. Sorry, okay. Well, fuck. Sent me some pictures, okay? Not those kind of pictures.
Hmm?
You know what I mean?
I thought you didn't care about stuff like that.
It's different this time.
And why's that?
Because of the situation. You promised.
I really don't want to.
Don't break your promise. You know what will happen.
It's sexual, and I'm highly against stuff like that.
You agreed no limitations. I'm trusting you with my life. So keep your promise?
There's got to be something else.
No. It's the only thing. The fact that it's hard for you is why it will work.
I don't want to do it, because you're just going to post it everywhere.
No, I will not. I promise I will not even keep it. You have my word. I'll look at the pics once and not even save them.
Yeah, I love that. No, believe me, I'm only looking at them one time. Come on. Then you'll just use it for your own pleasure.
And you can remove them from the conversation. No, I won't. I'm not like that. You should know that by now. You can trust me. I'm trusting you with my life. Trust me to be honest.
I'm really not comfortable with sending nudes to people.
I know you aren't. If you were comfortable doing it, it wouldn't be special.
That's some fucking sick shit right there, Greg.
That is fucking stupid, yeah.
And how would it ever prove that I cared about you?
Would you ever do this if you didn't care about me?
I wouldn't do it to people I even care about now.
Just keep your promise. I'm starting to feel sick.
I'm not going to send nudes. It goes against all my morals.
So you would rather I kill myself than keep your promise?
I'd rather you not kill yourself, and I'd rather not send nudes.
Are you scared that I won't be trustworthy with them?
It's not that. It's more the fact that I have some dignity as a woman, and I'm not going to throw it all away.
Maybe not full nudes.
Oh, I have to zoom in on this one. The case study gets smaller.
Yeah, me too.
Still, I'm not going to show you just my boobs either.
So you're breaking your promise?
I don't want to, but if you're really going to put me against my dignity as a woman and sending nudes, I'm going to have to go with my dignity. I'm not a slut.
I'm not asking you to be a slut. I'm asking you to trust me and show me you really care about me. I'm not asking you to sleep with me. Just a minor flash. I'm not even that sexually attracted to people I'm dating, so it's not really sexual for me. It's trust. Think of it as chaining in front of your sister or something.
What the fuck? It's not. It's trust. The only way to really trust someone is to get the nudes. That's how me and my dad really came to trust each other too. There's other ways to test my trust.
This is the only way I can be certain. It's like those cheesy, like, oh, I have to inspect your boobs. It's like cheesy. It's like a porn intro.
It really is.
I have to conduct a inspection of your buttocks. Anyway, okay. This is the only way I can be certain. If it makes you feel better, I can send one in return. Since I'm deciding to trust you too, and since I'm kind of famous online, it's a much bigger risk for me.
I don't want a nude of you.
I just offered to make you feel better. I've never even taken a pic like that before.
Also, I'm not going to let you do something so dumb at the risk of your own job.
Why? Are you not trustworthy to not post it online? I'm willing to trust you and risk my job to show that you can trust me.
You are recording this, right, Kai? Like, I don't want to have to read this whole thing for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Nope, shit minimized. Okay.
He scared me. I'm not gonna do something so stupid. You shouldn't do something like that so easily.
Wait, I lost my place. Okay.
It's stanza
Why?
4 of Act 3.
Why? I'm about to kill myself. Compared to that, nothing really matters.
There's other ways to do this. Also, suicide should never be an option. If the only way to be certain if someone cares about you
Jesus, you butchered that.
This is a tough one.
Wow.
If the only way to be certain if someone cares about you at all is for them to send you nudes.
Sigh. Just never mind, okay? Forget all this. I knew it was dumb to trust you or think you cared. I'm just going to end my life. I'm sorry I made your life worst. The worst? He's not even being generous there.
No, not at all. I'm not going to forget this.
I'm giving you a choice then. Keep your promise, or I kill myself. I hate to make the choice, but you knew the choice when you made the promise.
I pick neither.
If you don't pick, it'll be the second one.
Or we could get you help.
Help won't help. Help what? Such a stupid sentence. You gave me the fucking hard one. You knew.
No, just wait till we get to the really confusing parts. We get some James Joyce level shit.
Help won't help. I've tried. Just never mind. Choice 2 it is.
You really do need help. And maybe you just didn't try it in a good environment. Please?
Sigh. I'm just going to get this over with. What was that, a fucking buzzer?
How do I make
The wrong answer. Okay. At least say goodbye.
I'm not gonna say goodbye, because I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, and that's a promise.
I won't be alive tomorrow. I'm doing this right now.
I'm still going to talk to you tomorrow.
If that's your choice. Talk to his corpse. Oh, the next one is really tiny, and you can't even zoom in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's my line.
Mm-hmm.
Promise we get to talk tomorrow?
I'll be dead.
Then don't, so you can keep the promise.
You have to keep your promise. Well, I have the pills here ready. I'll give you one last chance to keep your promise.
Like, there's his finger on the trigger. Yeah, I've already got the pills. Come on, one last chance before I do it. I'm not gonna send you nudes.
Okay, then. I'm taking the pills now, then.
You're just gonna throw your life away? That easily?
I've been suicidal a long time, and it's already done. If I don't get medical attention soon, I'll be dead.
Then call 911.
No. Goodbye, okay? I'm sorry for everything.
Sorry I couldn't help.
You could. All you had to do was keep your promise. Sorry, that turned real gangsta all of a sudden. You could. All you had to do was keep your promise.
There was other ways to test my trust and my care. Why did you capitalize some shit out of nowhere? It's like book titles.
I don't know. But it's okay. You're better off without me.
You have another line under that? Scroll down.
Oh, motherfucker. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I haven't typing.
No, I'm not. This will probably be the worst day ever.
Keep your promise. I'll call at 911. Can't keep eyes open much longer. Okay.
No.
I know you didn't care.
I really did care.
No.
Yes.
Prove it.
Well, according to you, the only way to prove it would be to send you nudes.
You'd rather I die.
The only thing to save this dying man is nudes. He's just, I imagine him falling off of his computer chair, reaching up. Please, nudes. No, I didn't want you to die.
Keep it up. Still a little time.
It's too late if you're already this bad.
Hospital only 4 miles away. You're a fucking idiot, Greg. Wow, if you're watching this, Good God.
Then go.
I promise.
That's probably my favorite line in all of fucking Shakespearean history. Kier prums. I'm not going to send you nudes.
Just one. No face. No face.
Still not going to do that.
By then.
By then, I guess. Insane. God. Take notes, Broadway. This is how you make a script.
How old is he? I have
He's
to look
like-
it him up.
He's like mid-20s, I believe.
It's way too old then. If he's anything older than 14, this doesn't go.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's about the only one that's going to be fun to reenact, though. Everything else is just more sad.
Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the only way to prevent yourself from dying of a toxic overdose of pills is to direct all of the blood flow from your heart to your penis. And the only way to achieve this is to get nudes.
The only way.
Unfortunately, this lady, or rather this little girl probably, was having none of it. She wouldn't help.
Greg died that day. Rest in peace.
Greg died
Good
that day,
Yep, he
despite
didn't make
being
it.
only 4 miles away from the hospital.
It was truly sad, and we're sorry to break the story like this. He was a good games guy, and we're sorry for Greg's passing. If you want to check out his channel, though, he just recently released some new Blade and Soul content. You might want to check it out. It's good stuff. Fucking promote his channel.
Yeah, no, fuck him. I could not have less empathy for this asshole.
He's such a sick fuck, bro. He did the other chat logs, like I said, they're boring, but a few of the other ones, he did the same thing. Are you gonna send me nudes, or am I gonna have to kill myself? It's fucking sick. He's an actual fucking
They're
villain.
not funny at all.
Not at all. It's he just says it like that. He's like, "Are you gonna send me nudes, or am I gonna have to kill myself?"
Why would he do this on his own fucking face and account? What an idiot.
Why would he
I like
do
how he
this at
says
all?
he's famous and huge too. Like I'm taking such a huge risk. I have 600 subscribers.
Well, actually, he fucking tanked himself with this. I went on the Blade and Soul subreddit, and they're making memes about curb your proms.
Oh. That's good actually. Fuck
Yeah,
him.
he fucking destroyed himself now. So I guess he was taking a much bigger risk.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, idiot.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit, though. Like a real piece of shit. So yeah, that about wraps up this story. Yeah, that's all something that recently
yeah,
happened.
he's a piece of shit. Thanks for tuning in to Date Night FBC Splash TV, the special heebie-jeebie whatever
Boogie woogie oogie.
chatlock reading.
See ya. Call of Duty. It's a shit franchise with a shittier community, and now they've helped murder an innocent man. So this is a story I've been following since the first reports of a suspected death via swatting were reported on, and I'm sure some of you have already heard it by now, but it's something I want to talk about. So this sad story goes, two man-children named Vaporize and Mir Cole, and I know upon hearing these abysmal names you asked yourself, are these 8-year-olds that this story is about? No, these are not 8-year-olds that those names belong to. Those names belong to adults. And these two adults had a Call of Duty wager match for $1.50. They were really throwing the wood down that night, high stakes gambling, and they lost the match. They were on the same team and they got mad at each other and they blamed each other for the loss and they started going at it. No, my dick's 3 inches hard, so I have the bigger penis. Who cares if you have the bigger penis? A girl laughed at me once, and then eventually it escalates to the point where Vaporizer gets in contact with an even bigger virgin, the chief virgin. His name is Swatistic, and he had been known for swatting things like MLG matches and shit. Just really sad, pathetic stuff. And this human catheter did an interview on YouTube talking about this. I still watched it because I wanted to hear what a swatter sounded like, and it's exactly like what you'd expect, just as pathetic as you'd imagine.
Right. Do you take any responsibility for what happened?
The argument can be made that the police would have never shut up if I didn't make the call. However, I don't believe that I'm the only guilty party involved in this whole incident, considering I was contacted and, almost instructed to SWAT and taunted to SWAT, and I just I mean, of course, if you want to, I mean, you could say that, of course, I was involved. However, I mean, other people were involved. I mean, yeah, the call was made by me, but as far as the whole incident, you could point the finger at numerous people.
It's amazing how you can actually hear the back acne in this kid's voice. And the way he talks, it's like he took pages right out of the Tumblr experts playbook, like the fucking incel section of Tumblr who gives advice on what to do when faced with authorities. He just, allegedly, well, I guess you could look at it that way. Well, one could say I had access to, I mean, due to multiple interpretations, there's a multitude of factors at play. I suppose you could, deduce that I pushed him into the shark-infested waters, but it was the shark that killed him, not me. And it's sad that I have to compare sharks to cops, because sharks aren't even out for as much blood as cops are. But anyway, once Vaporize gets in contact with Swatistic, they attempt to dox and swat Miracle, but Miracle, in an attempt to prove that his cock is 3 inches hard, reaches out to Swatistic and says, "Here's my address, swat me, pussy boy," and here's the tweet. So he does, he swats that address, but Miracle, being the brave man he is, gives an address that isn't his, belongs to an innocent man who gets killed by the cops when they show up. In his interview with Keemstar, the kid shows no remorse at all, nor does he take any responsibility, and passes the blame off onto the other 2 kids, and I do agree, they have a big part to play in this. I think all 3 of them should have the same sentence, which is life in prison, because they contribute absolutely nothing to society. They fucking have Call of Duty wager matches for $1.50 and then kill an innocent man over it. What good do they bring to society? They're just downright sociopaths. None of them felt any empathy for what happened. It wasn't just the kid who actually called the SWAT. Miracle, the one who gave that address, was laughing about it on Twitter. Vaporizers, not to be heard from. They all deleted their accounts and shit. But I really don't think it can be that difficult to find out who these 3 dudes are. The fucking NSA can watch me jerk off in the middle of my kitchen through my coffee maker. How can they not find who owns these horrible Twitter accounts with these horrible fucking names? And now I'd like to talk directly to the people who say, well, it's not their fault, it's the cop who killed him's fault. No, it's definitely their fault. That wouldn't have happened if they didn't call the police. But the police are also very much to blame here. So, according to the family, what happened is the police were banging on the door, the husband opens the door and is immediately shot by a cop. Immediately shot. Why the fuck is he immediately shot? You go there because it's a reported hostage situation. I understand it's very high tension, you're nervous, you're on edge. But you knock on the door and someone opens the door. That's the expected response. Why do you panic and shoot him? It's like a pizza man going to my door because I ordered pizza. He knocks on my door, I open the door, and he fucking blasts me with a shotgun because he wasn't expecting me to open the door. What the fuck were the cops expecting? Did they think he was gonna bust through the 2nd floor window like Action Man and land on the ground and turn himself in? Why did they freak out because he opened the door? I don't get that response at all. Everyone's like, oh, I feel so sorry for the cop. He's the real victim here. He's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life. No, the cop is not the real fucking victim here. The real victim is the man who got killed and his family that he leaves behind now. I feel absolutely nothing for that cop except hatred. He's either A, the most untrained officer on the force, and the force benefits from him not being there, or B, just a bloodthirsty menace. Now, if it's the former, what kind of training do the SWAT go through? They're supposed to be the elite. They're supposed to be the best of the best. But apparently they're all so fucking afraid of their own shadow. What kind of training do they get? I have to know. Do they just put the fear of God in them? They train them like they're fucking dogs. Oh, if you hear a loud sound, just fucking shoot at it. You don't want to take any risks. No matter what happens, if you hear anything, if you see anything, shoot it. That's the only way to deal with problems. They just have to be so poorly trained. And the way they handle the situation after they kill the husband is just as bad. So they go there because it's a reported hostage situation. They kill the man who I guess they immediately assumed was the man who took the hostages. He opened the door, he must have the hostages. Fucking blast him. Okay, he's down. Now they have the hostages left. And what do? They make the hostages walk over the corpse and then handcuff them. What fucking heroes, huh? That's how you're trained to handle a hostage situation. You handcuff the hostage after making them walk over a dead body? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. SWAT is a fucking joke. An absolute fucking joke. I made this video when the story was still fresh and all the details weren't fully out there, and now I just watched an interview with the mother of the son who was killed by the police, and she says there was no knocking on the door. He heard noises, so opened the door and was gunned down. They weren't giving him any warnings or anything, they just killed him the second he opened the door. Which doesn't exactly make it any better for the police side of the story. I'm not going to take out the part of the video with the knocking on the door portion because there still is some sources claiming they did knock on the door and then killed him when he opened it. So really neither one of them looks better for the police. Him opening the door while they, didn't give him any warnings or anything and killing him, that's just as bad. I don't know what the fuck they thought he was doing, opening the door to charge them with riding on horseback or something. It's still a ridiculous scenario that doesn't warrant them gunning him down in any cases. Also, more breaking news as I was rendering this video out, the swatter has been arrested. Here's his picture. This is him, looking like a man you'd find at your local card shop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! With the children. And now I'm happy to say, Tyler joins the Hall of Fame of swatters with Robert McDade and Zachary Lee, who are behind bars for many years. It's a fantastic conclusion, really. But this shouldn't be where the story ends. Miracle and Vaporize and the cop need to face repercussions for this event. This whole thing wouldn't have happened without Miracle and Vaporize coming together and forming the perfect storm of tiny penis and lack of testosterone. And if Tyler's going to jail, those two should also be going to jail. Vaporize will likely get raperized in there. And it'd be a miracle if the other guy's asshole wasn't stretched 2 feet. The cop also needs to be joining them with some more than just a paid vacation. There needs to be more done here. Justice hasn't been served entirely, but it's a great fucking start. And I just want to address this because I already know it's going to come up in the comments, people calling me just a cop hater, one of those fuck all cops kind of people. I'm not. I don't hate all cops. There's good and bad cops, I know that, but there's a lot of bad cops, a lot of them going around right now. Just take, for example, the fucking Simon Says killer from not too long ago, who just executed a man who was following his absurd instructions, making him do everything shy of an interpretive dance and write him a book report, and then he kills him. It's fucking sickening, and I think this is another example of a bad cop. I know we don't have all the details surrounding what happened here, but I don't think under any circumstances would a man opening a door warrant being gunned down in cold blood. Unless he walked out of that front door with a nuclear bomb strapped to his chest, I don't see why you executed him like that for no fucking reason with no warnings. It's just disgusting. This is a bad cop. There's a lot of bad cops, but I don't hate all cops. Obviously not all cops are bad. But yeah, I mean, that's this whole story, and I'm super glad the swatter was caught, and we can only hope that justice is served for the other 3 that were involved in this tragedy. So yeah, that's it. See ya. On TikTok, there lives many evils. Some cringe, some criminal. Just like the Force with the Jedi and the Sith, there exists a balance. And today, we're gonna tiptoe and tap dance all over that line between cringe and criminal as we look at a completely deplorable individual named Madison who hatched a diabolical scheme to fake cancer, apparently with the goal of getting her family back together. At least according to her, that's the statement she made in court as to the motive behind faking cancer. Which, if that really was the goal of it, that is a worse plan than anything Ed, Edd n Eddy ever hatched for jawbreakers back in the day. It makes no sense, but basically, she faked cancer, eventually started getting, public speaking gigs, I suppose. She documented her battle with it in an attempt to, uplift people, I suppose. She also made a GoFundMe, which collected, $37,000, which turns this whole thing from just a complete fabrication for the sake of attention, possibly, into a full-blown scam where she was taking money from people under a complete lie. And then, eventually, the whole house of cards came crumbling down after an investigation concluded that she made everything up. Now, I can't find the first videos she started to post about this. It only exists, from what I can find, in a Ray William Johnson video he just posted covering this, so I'm just going to show you a clip from that.
They found a mass on my pancreas, and I had stage 2 pancreatic cancer at just 19 years old.
Oh, but that's not even the worst part. She also had leukemia.
The 5-year outlook of survival is a slim 11%.
But does all this stop Madison? No way. She sees it as an opportunity to document her battle and uplift others.
What an incredibly evil thing to lie about. Now, of course, she's far from the only person on the cyberspace to lie about having cancer. In fact, there was a really recent story I just talked about a month ago about a poker player who lied about having terminal cancer in order to raise money to enter a poker tournament. But anyway, back to Madison. So she posted a lot of update content going over what was happening, and this includes photos that she would take. Photos that she would stage, since she didn't actually have cancer. And I can't find a ton of them. The only one that I can find that was a big smoking gun is, again, from Ray William Johnson's video. So he's got, all of the old artifacts here to preserve the story, I guess. So I'll show you a picture of it here, which is this. And a lot of medical professionals saw this and noticed that there was some very fishy shit going on here. It was starting to raise some red flags, sound the alarm bells that, this may not be a case of her having cancer, but instead an undiagnosed case of terminal clout disease. God rest her soul. So the medical professionals pointed out a lot of things that just didn't make sense about the photo. Some inconsistencies, not even using real medical tape, just a laundry list of problems with the photo, and anonymously reported it as suspicious. It got the attention of the Eldridge Police Department, and they conducted an investigation, eventually subpoenaed for medical records from Madison, and found that she'd never been diagnosed with any kind of cancer or tumor from any medical facilities. So it turns out her cancer diagnosis is about as real as Goatman, which is to say, not real at all. Sorry to all the Goatman enthusiasts out there. I don't mean to burst your bubble. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but it is what it is. He's not real. But what is real is this mugshot right here. Madison was arrested in January. I also didn't mention that even outside of like that one big photo that a lot of people pointed out and heavily scrutinized for inconsistencies, she was posting other photos that weren't hers, apparently. She would use photos from actual cancer patients and post them as if they were her updates, which is unbelievably evil. Like, the whole thing is so genuinely disgustingly evil, but like, to me, when I learned that portion of it, I couldn't believe just how low she sunk for this. Also, it was recommended that Madison not face prison time because she didn't have criminal history and had good grades in college, was employed, which made her less likely to reoffend. Which I think is a bunch of baloney. What a load of dirty barnacles. What do her good grades in college have to do with anything here and her ability to lie about having cancer again? No, she'll never do this again. Wait, look at her report card. She has an A in kinesiology. Obviously, she's not going to pull this stunt again. Don't be ridiculous. No prison time at all. She's learned her lesson. Just slap her on the wrist, send her home. So, someone spoke up about that. Her name is Rhonda Miles, and she runs a pancreatic cancer foundation in Nashville, and they actually donated to Madison and testified at the hearing. It was devastating to sit there and watch Scott County prosecuting attorney act like a defending attorney, so that was tough. And I think she'll have a lot of questions to answer from the locals on that at some point. Why are you defending this girl when you were supposed to be prosecuting? I couldn't agree more. This is not something that is just some whoops-a-daisy mistake kind of silly, stupid, quirky, dumb decision that a young person makes. It's not. This is a cold, calculated, evil plan that she did make like $39,000 from. I don't know why they took it so lightly here. But anyway, before I get to what her sentencing looked like, why don't I let you hear from her herself when she talked about this in court.
20-year-old Madison Russo pleaded guilty to a charge of first-degree theft after police said she pretended to have cancer and received donations online.
I didn't do this for money or greed. I didn't do this for attention. I did this in an attempt to try and get my family back together.
I saw a comment point something out pretty profoundly. It said her plan was to get the family back together, and it worked. They all came to court with her. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. She never said how the family was going to come back together, so, But I don't necessarily believe that. I feel like if the plan was to get the family back together, why the fuck are you making a GoFundMe and making money off of it, right? Plus, let's just assume that your nefarious plan you cooked up worked and your family all did come together to support you. It's absolutely going to crumble when you don't go to doctors to get your treatment. Right? So if the family came together, they would immediately know that you are a lying sack of shit because you would not be going to any of these treatment facilities and they'd want to support you, right? So they would immediately know that something is wrong since you're not actually getting any treatment from any medical professionals. It doesn't make sense. So I don't think that was the real motive. That was just trying to weasel her way out of a very, very serious situation here because she scammed people out of $39,000. Now, she was ordered to repay that money that was donated to her, which is good. So all of the people who donated money, I believe, got money back for it. So it's at least a nice conclusion for them. They didn't just lose out on that forever.
The judge sentenced Russo to a suspended sentence of 10 years. That means she won't go to jail unless she gets in trouble in the future, but it will go on her record.
And basically she received probation where as long as she doesn't do anything stinky again in the next 3 years, she won't go to jail. But if she does reoffend and do something bad, then she will. Overall, I think she got off pretty easy from this. Oh, I forgot to mention she has 100 hours of community service work, which, you know, that's not exactly the harshest punishment here to fit the crime, if you ask me. To deceive people with a lie like this here and rake in $39,000 with people that believe they're supporting a cancer patient who's going through an incredibly intense battle is so sickeningly disgusting. And I cannot believe how light the sentencing on not only her case, but cases similar to this have been in the past. Like I said, she's not the only one to do this. She's actually far from the only one to do this. But for some reason, they never actually face big repercussions for it. And I guess I just don't really understand why. Because it is still a big, very lucrative scam that they're engaging in. It's highly illegal. So why is it always so light with the punishment? I don't know. Sometimes they don't even face punishment. There's been a couple of times in the past online where people have faked cancer, got a bunch of donations, and then just left, vanished. And they, you know, come back a couple years later, pretend it never happened, and they're just fine. They don't get in any trouble or anything. I don't know. It's just so weird to me. But yeah, I wanted to go over this pretty evil case here of a TikToker being a big ol' sack of shit. That's about it. So yeah. There is no documentary filmmaker on YouTube more talented than Oki. Every time he uploads, it's just like this wonderful event. So big, even my cat can't help but jump up here and watch some of his content with me. I think Oki's Weird Stories is one of the best channels on YouTube, and he recently uploaded another banger covering a story that I'm sure most people aren't familiar with. So I'm going to show you some clips from that. I am also going to put a link to his YouTube channel and Patreon in the description below. Go support him, please. I think he makes amazing content, and he's just such a great guy. He's super nice. Every time we've talked, he's been nothing but wholesome, and he's got these incredible ideas for the future of his channel, and I just can't wait to see them unfold. So definitely go check out his channel, and if you're feeling inclined to help him reach his goals, then check out his Patreon. It's all below.
Millionaire and computer hacker Daniel Beckwith had dug an elaborate network of tunnels underneath his Bethesda home because he believed North Korea was planning a nuclear attack.
What the fuck?
Alfred's body was found after Daniel Beckwith created a makeshift bunker and had another man help him dig tunnels underneath his Bethesda home.
He kept Askia Khafra captive there, and in 2017, that home went up in flames.
Jesus
On September
Christ, this is
10th,
heavy.
2017, Askia Khafra died in an electrical fire while digging tunnels for a makeshift nuclear bunker underneath Daniel Beckwith's home. They struggled to navigate through Daniel Beckwith's home because of extreme amounts of debris and trash blocking the way. Before he succumbed to carbon
that
monoxide
sounds like a
poisoning,
4chan
Askia
home.
was only 2 steps away from almost certain safety, but the hoarding conditions of the home prevented him from making it out alive.
The entire situation is unresolved.
Askia Khafra.
How is it unresolved? This sounds pretty cut and dry. The dude was one of those outrageously unhinged doomsday preppers, like probably a gang stalker as well, thinking the whole world's out to get him and everything's about to end. And he must have fucking snapped and ended up killing him. How the fuck could this be an unresolved case? I mean, I guess we're just at the beginning here, so this is all just like the intro, but to me, like off rip, this sounds like a pretty classic case of someone with one of those mental illnesses just losing control and ending up killing someone.
At a young age, he displayed an aptitude.
Oh, I want to read that. That is some Reddit shit right there. I am a genius, AMA. Just read what I wrote. Just read what I wrote. I came off as sort of cut off. I can get a bit Sheldon-y. I scored the ceiling, IQ of 160 plus, standard deviation of 15. Usually, my IQ's usually been estimated in the 170s by my psychologist. Was this on like a Rick and Morty post or something? Jesus Christ.
He was so cringe. Like he was like, "Oh, I'm just like, you know, these psycho, like smart, like serial killer type people. If I want to get into just the craziest thing I ever did, it was."
Hold on, I don't want to read this. I mean, this is the kind of guy that would get made fun of on the board. Is this posted like as satire by him? I don't think so, if he's calling into a random phone show talking about this kind of shit.
And I'm gonna use this air gun to like shoot this raccoon in a cage, and like this is crazy. Like, this is like legit psycho behavior. Like,
One of
that was
the-
the most psycho thing he ever did. for sure.
One of the biggest indicators early on that someone's going to end up as some kind of serial killer is animal abuse, like the torturing of small animals and shit. That is a phenomenon that's been studied so many times, and there is a direct correlation between hurting animals when you're young and taking that to people down the line. That is like one of the most cut and dry correlations ever.
Like, he wanted to come across as this crazy psycho.
And yet, for some reason, it still gets
like
dismissed
genius.
pretty often by law enforcement. You guys remember what was his name? Pushin Entertainment? I forgot how to say it now. He's the guy that would torture and kill cats on YouTube. He was a 15-year-old. That kid didn't go to jail. He got investigated. He's not in jail. And it's because they don't take it seriously. It's, oh, it's a kid, it doesn't matter that he was torturing and killing the cats.
He was a strange kid, and that's an understatement, but he had taken a video of himself taking a syringe and extracting synovial fluid from his knee joint,
what
putting
the
it into
fuck?
like a shot glass or a small cup, and then drinking it.
Yeah, this is his computer and his work area.
What
so
the
this is
fuck?
basically me standing in the doorway.
That's worse than
of
Chris
my
Chan
bedroom.
taking a shot of his cum.
co-opted all of this
Police officers then searched.
Damn,
Daniel's
those
room.
penis emails,
Inside,
though.
they found a rifle,
Worth it.
the hood of a fire protection suit, several lockpicks, reverse-engineered ID cards, and keyloggers. They also found a list of social security numbers belonging to faculty members and students.
It was the most filthy, disgusting room I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there was stuff everywhere.
Daniel was arrested and formally charged with 5 counts of property damage, 2 counts of computer fraud, tampering with documents, and illegally possessing a firearm. After that, Daniel took to Reddit to do an Ask Me Anything titled, I'm a 22-year-old who is going to plead guilty to a felony computer hacking charge in 5 days. When someone asked, what did you do? He responded with, I launched a huge, multifaceted attack against my university for nothing but lulz, involving just about every attack
God, what
in
a
the book.
fucking
I made the
loser.
university's IT department look like damn fools.
I mean, I guess pretty epic prank. Take that, university. Peak Redditor. I mean, this is some Reddit-ass shit.
Daniel inherited $2.6 million after his mother's death. With that, he began to invest in Bitcoin, and he made a fortune. In a now deleted Reddit
Holy
comment,
shit.
Daniel thanked the technology board on 4chan, G, for turning him onto Bitcoin as early as 2010. In a Reddit Ask Me Anything,
I am still so fucking mad, and I can't believe this came up in, what was it? It must have been 2012, probably 2012. I've mentioned this a million times, and I mention it every time it gets brought up. There was a post on the front page of Reddit that said, I strongly urge you to get into Bitcoin, and then another one like, Bitcoin has just hit $100, and I, as well as pretty much everyone I knew, was like, that's stupid, that's fucking dumb, it's never going over 100, it's worthless, why would we ever do that? And I didn't put anything into it. God damn. So this was this seems about right, though. This seems like the kind of person that would actually put money into Bitcoin back then. You had to be out of your fucking mind to think it was a good idea. Jesus Christ. Just a random cringe-lord loser doomer on Reddit was one person that just happened to put money into that fucking Bitcoin post. And it paid off.
I actually got a call, and it was an IRS investigator, and they were asking me about his Bitcoin account. They were basically saying that he was in possession of basically like $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Around the time of the call, the Bitcoin were like $55,000 of Bitcoin, and he had $1.2 billion worth of them, like, somewhere in the blockchain. That was around the time I found out that he had, hired that kid, and he died, in that tunnel. Looking at his house in Bethesda.
on the site was a section dedicated to software developing and investing. One day, while watching the infamous farmer bro, Martin Shkreli live stream on the site, he first laid eyes on Daniel Beckwith. Daniel, who used the handle 3 Alarm Lamp Scooter, impressed Askia. Not only did he seem to be friends with Martin Shkreli, but he also claimed to be a multimillionaire investor and hacker.
I still remember I never saw any of those streams, but I remember Martin Shkreli, for a brief period of time, had a whole Discord server that fucking worshipped him. Kai and I went in there one night because we were curious and just wanted to laugh at the clowns that were, for some reason, sucking the dick right off of Skrelly's body. And Martin Shkreli was sleeping on a voice call, and they were freaking out about how lucky they were to hear him sleeping. It was so unbelievably fucking pathetic. God, that whole community was awful. And when he did get arrested, I don't remember exactly what happened, but they were like, "No, this is outrageous. He didn't do anything wrong. What? Oh my God, this is blasphemous!" Fucking crying, losing their mind over it. It was a cult. Martin Shkreli's farmer bro. He's the guy that did like the 10,000% price hike on Fuck, what was it? What drug was it? I don't remember now. Insulin? Was it insulin? Yeah, I think it was insulin.
And I remember him saying that, I thought it was kind of odd. Like, oh, interesting, this guy's a bunker. What do you have a bunker for? And I remember him saying, I've been building this for a while. It's just to keep myself protected and safe in case of a nuclear war or a nuclear disaster.
With Daniel's
Fucking
funding,
huge
they
red
bought
flag.
brand new tailored suits
Wow.
in preparation for their meeting with the Teal Fellowship manager. All they had to do was make it to the meeting on time and make a great pitch. But unfortunately, that didn't end up happening.
I don't remember how, but we somehow end up putting in the wrong address. But we end up going to the wrong location. At that point, we're just like, we're just freaking out. We don't know what to do. And we get to the meeting and we're about maybe 15 minutes late.
Why a red flag? He isn't wrong. Is that bait? Hey, excuse me. I've got to go back down to my bunker for my canned food just in case of a nuclear war breaking out real quick. Are you serious? That has to be bait. That's like actual gang stalking behavior. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. I think there's a level to it. When you're building an underground network of tunnels and a bunker because you're afraid of a nuclear war going down at any minute, that is a mental illness.
I'd literally...
Oh my God. I can't tell what's bait and what's not. I don't think that's crazy. There's nothing wrong with being generally anxious about things. I have a flying phobia. It's irrational, and I recognize that, but it's a phobia, right? I think that's totally fine to be like, I have a fear of nuclear bombs going off at some point. But then it has to be this barrier, like this filter in your mind where it's like, that is a little irrational. Maybe I shouldn't build a fucking multi-million-dollar bunker because I'm afraid of this disaster happening. And maybe I shouldn't be wearing a bulletproof vest anytime I'm out in public. It's not crazy at all. Do you go outside in a bulletproof vest every day? Might be multi-purpose bunkers also work for general apocalypse scenarios. What in the world is wrong with you? What do you mean? There is a problem when your entire life is revolving around a fear. So much so that you're building a bunker to avoid the imaginary boogeyman of an apocalyptic scenario unfolding where you need this bunker to be the last human being on Earth with your canned food and prepping and wearing a bulletproof vest anytime you're out in public. That's not even a hot take. That is a problem. I get shit for being afraid of going on a plane, and rightfully so. I get that it's irrational. How in the fucking world can you possibly try and justify a man spending so much on this bunker and wearing his bulletproof vest out in public, and then eventually hiring this man to dig out the underneath of his house for an underground network of tunnels because he's afraid of North Korea nuclear bombing his house? That is like schizophrenic behavior. That goes above gang stalking.
He asked me to stop the car and he jumped out the car and went by somebody. He came home afterwards, But you see, you also, as a father, you have to be careful that you run off a child permanently. Many things I told him, he would rebut it and tell me Beckwith was competent at that, Beckwith was competent at that. It was like Beckwith was a Superman. It was so...
It's crazy what you can ignore when you have that much respect for someone.
I remember definitely the first time around, I just started screaming to all the neighbors, you know, help, help, fire, fire.
What were you thinking was going to happen to him at that point?
I was hoping he'd either run out there or he'd go out the back window.
This big window
there, or the window well.
Well, this one's got bars on it.
Well, that's not the window. Yeah, that one does have bars on it on the side. I don't think he could get out there. That doesn't have
He put bars on his... Well, of course he put bars on his windows. He's got a fucking bunker and tunnel system.
And then there's that window
for
well
nuclear war.
I thought he also could have got out there.
Of course he barred his windows.
Well, preferably, he would have just gone down into the tunnels and gone out the backyard.
Why didn't he do the obvious? Come to my voice. I am on the safe side of the basement. There's not much smoke on my side. There was a door there. He indicated that he went.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is absolutely a murder.
Wasn't it possible?
I completely agree with the dad here.
Daniel said that he tried to get inside the house to save Askia a total of 4 times, but that he was driven back by the overwhelming heat. During his attempts to enter the house, he said that he removed a propane tank, gas cans, and other combustibles.
The way out, you told me originally that you took a couple of gas cans.
Yeah,
but I never found those.
Well, one was supposed to be in the front yard and the other was on the side.
Okay, so I didn't get that. So
somebody might have walked off with them. Jeez.
Okay.
I'm no expert here, but this looks like some absolutely fucking terrible acting that I'd see in like a bad Hulu original like The Grim Cuddy. What? Someone must have walked off with one of the gas cans that I was put in the front yard? Jeez.
He said that he...
I will say, and before we continue, people are asking, well, why would he kill him? Clearly this guy is unhinged. I think that much is very obvious. He's very worried that everyone's out to get him. He wears the bulletproof vest when he's out in public. He duct tapes Askia's eyes, blindfolded him to get him to the tunnels. Duct tapes his eyes so that way he's blind when he goes outside for fresh air because he's afraid Askia may turn on him at some point and tell people where his bunker is. So I think what may have happened is he got this fucked up idea that Askia was plotting to reveal his location or turn against him, and he killed him for it. That would be my guess. How in the...
I could have picked him up and taken him. I was so close.
Well...
How could anyone watch this and think for even 1 second this wasn't a murder? That is not how anyone would respond to a situation like this. No, this is like worse than YouTuber apology level acting. Naturally.
I think the screwed up part about it is even if, you know, we got what we wanted, like if he was put away for life, that would only be a semblance of what I feel like we could consider justice, because it's not going to change the fact that Askia is gone. You know,
never does, but
we can't.
At the very least, it gets this guy
been denied
out
the rest of his life because of somebody else's.
No, you can't do it to anyone else. Because I mean, according so far to the story, Askia wasn't the only person, right? He mentioned, was it the Dick Rocket guy? Someone else had also worked on the tunnels. It wasn't just Askia that Beckwith had convinced to lend aid to. And then there was also the construction worker that we didn't get to hear from, but it wasn't just Askia. The unfortunate name, well, not an unfortunate name, Dick Rocket's a fucking hype name. Just unfortunate in the situation here because it's a super sad story.
Daniel, I'm going to put a measuring cup full of money out on the front porch so we've got it on the way out, okay?
This place is so creepy, yeah. Because he was just a filthy, hoarding lunatic. So, okay, this is a misconception going on right now. He's not a billionaire. He had $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, but it doesn't seem like he ever cashed it out. So I believe, according Oki said, at the time of this, he had about 16 million in actual cash. But he had the $1 billion worth of Bitcoin somewhere that he never cashed it out. So he's not actually a billionaire if he doesn't have access to it. And it looks like he never cashed it out. But yeah, multi-millionaire. Very, very wealthy.
Right now, two more stories you need to know about as we head into this week. A bizarre case will finally come to an end tomorrow. Daniel Beckwith is set to be sentenced.
Now, I want to let you know,
that is great news.
Murder. The judge at the sentencing gave him 9 years. One less than the minimum. Gave him 9 years.
What the fuck is the point in having a minimum sentencing when it comes to a crime? What the fuck? The reason the minimum is there is that it's not supposed to go lower. How can you just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna disregard that? I don't what? How does that make any sense? I don't think he paid off the judge. It doesn't seem like he had access to his money. That makes no fucking... It's a goddamn law. Like by giving less than the law dictated minimum, wouldn't that be breaking the law from her? What? Can that happen?
What about my feelings? Don't I matter? You know? You are praising this gentleman who did a criminal act, who 12 jurors believe committed.
Okay, how about this? Even if he didn't kill him on purpose, which I really do still feel he did, what the fuck does he offer society? He walks around in a bulletproof vest and hires people to work on an underground bunker in complete secrecy, blindfolding them, refusing to let them outside with their eyes open without giving them duct tape glasses, and just sits in his fucking hoarded, shit-stained, diaper-filled house. What is he offering to society? But he doesn't even offer money. He doesn't spend his money. Half of his money was in fucking measuring glasses. He doesn't even fucking spend it. That makes no sense. That actually makes no sense. Now I am starting to believe the conspiracy that he did somehow pay off someone somewhere. That makes no sense. No sense. Even if, again, you don't find him guilty of killing on purpose, or what was he charged with? The depraved heart manslaughter? I'm getting charges mixed up. Even if you don't find him guilty of that, saying that he has a lot to offer society, so I'm not going to give him the minimum. But he, for the last fucking 20 years, has done nothing but live in a hoarder's house and build an underground network of tunnels because he's afraid of a nuclear fallout. Jesus Christ. But I'm starting to believe more in the briberies thing. Because, again, he had tons of money. He never spent any of his money. Maybe he dumped it all at once into this.
Why was Daniel able to enter the basement several times during the fire and roam freely enough to remove gas canisters?
That's a great fucking question.
I also don't understand why Daniel told him to escape through windows, which mostly had steel bars on them.
And that's what the father
instead
mentioned.
Of directing Askia safely to one of the doors that he testified he had used repeatedly.
I don't know, it was probably like years later that it really hit me that I'm not gonna see.
What a great fucking point here. I actually didn't even think about this one. Because he did confirm he went down there multiple times. He even said he removed those gas canisters, and that's in that interview. He's like, oh, one of the gas canisters should be on the front lawn. He's like, it wasn't there. Oh, geez. I mean, maybe someone must have taken it. That is a great point. If his exit was blocked by so much hoarding debris, how the fuck could Daniel go move around in there, maneuver things, and freely just take some shit out? And again, guiding him to a window instead of just saying, hey, come with me to the door, that he is using repeatedly. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he never made me feel like I was a loner, like an outcast.
Like I said, his earnest home in a box. That box has been there for 5 years. It has not been touched. It's in the same position. We have a pit there, a kind of shrine for him, with a large photo of him in his ROTC uniform and, you know, something saying, love you to the moon and back. And there can be no closure.
No, there never is in something like that, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And as always, until next time.
Best documentary maker on YouTube, man. Oki kills it every time. If you're a fan of documentaries, absolutely go support his Patreon. Absolute bangers, nothing but. And he's a great guy. Man, that video made me mad, though. Not because of Oki. The story made me mad. That is very frustrating. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. YouTube trends are getting so bad, they're starting to kill people now. This story right here is one of the stupidest stories I've seen in quite a while. It's also incredibly sad and disturbing. So the short of it, this couple had a channel. I'm not going to say the name of the channel because I don't want people to go on there and harass them or anything like that. So it's a fresh channel that aimed to emulate what a lot of successful channels on YouTube are currently doing, which is fake shitty pranks. Prank is a word that has completely lost all meaning whatsoever. Popular pranks include kissing actresses on the street after playing rock, paper, scissors and paying them a lot of money to make out with you on camera, pissing on people's shoes and making people angry but saying it's just a prank so they're wrong for being angry, and all of it's staged, but somehow the majority of people under the age of 13 think that the pranks are very entertaining and real, and I just think the whole situation of pranks on YouTube is perhaps the worst thing that ever happened to the platform. But I'm not here to rant about fake pranks and shit. These two, their prank that killed this man was, he held up a book and she shot the book with a .50 caliber round. I don't know how the fuck this is even loosely considered a prank. Who's being pranked? I guess the boyfriend because he died from it, so joke's on him, but even by YouTube standards, no one would really consider this stunt a prank. They would consider it a stunt, an Evel Knievel type stunt, except dialed to 3000, or maybe magic, an illusion like the catching bullet magic trick, except that takes planning and you don't actually just fucking execute someone with a gun. So, unsurprisingly, when the girlfriend shot the book, it went right through the book and just obliterated the man. He died, and it was right in front of their 3-year-old daughter. I don't know how the fuck they got their hands on a .50 caliber round. That's not exactly easy to acquire. That's not something you can just walk outside and pick off of a fucking bush. But somehow they acquired the tools necessary for this video idea that they thought was going to explode and go viral. But the only thing that exploded was the man's chest after the .50 caliber round went right through it. I don't know how stupid you have to be to think a book can stop a .50 caliber round and just get lodged on page 200 or something, depending on the thickness of the book. But you could have a fucking building in between you and a .50 caliber round, and there's still a good chance that bullet's gonna get right through you. A .50 caliber round is no joke whatsoever. You can't hold up Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets and expect to fucking block a .50 caliber round. It's not a vibranium shield like Captain America. It doesn't say what book they tried to use to stop the bullet, but anything shy of adamantium was doomed to fail. I imagine they probably used a phone book, and that's just not even close to thick enough. However, if they had used my overpriced college textbook on physiology, there's a really good chance that it may have actually stopped the .50 caliber round. This whole story really is extremely sad because now the daughter is traumatized, the girlfriend will never forget this, and she's definitely going to jail for it. And the whole situation could have been avoided if YouTubers hadn't distorted what a prank was and have to keep one-upping themselves with kidnap prank gone wrong, almost killing my brother gone sexual, shit like that, and then it encourages stupid people to give it a try too, and then they do some dumb shit like this. Now, in a world of fake pranks on YouTube, I will commend these two for at least giving it the real deal. They used a real .50 caliber round, a real book, and this was a real gone wrong prank. Well, that's about it. I just wanted to share this story with you because it made me extremely sad and angry to read about it, so yeah, that's it.